Hi, I am in Kyu Furukawa Garden today. I'm Annika, I'm your garden guide for Tokyo and around. And I'm showing you this garden today. It has been ages, or it feels like ages, since I was here for the last time. And the facade of the Western style building, the residence, is under construction at the moment. We will see later. I just started with a different route today. This garden is not really barrier free. They say this is the barrier free route, but you can see that the slope is quite steep. So it's and covered with gravel, very difficult to access with wheelchair. And also most of the routes inside the Japanese garden aren't accessible with wheelchair. At the moment is the major time for the rose flowers. They have the autumn flowering roses and the spring flowering roses, and festivals for both times. And that's probably the reason why there are quite many people here today. When you're coming off season, then this is one of the quieter gardens. Here at the end of the slope is the Japanese garden, while in front of the Western style residence there's the rose garden with Western style garden. The Japanese style garden was created by Ueji, who has also created a lot of gardens in Kyoto during the Meiji period. So he's quite famous for many gardens in Kyoto, but not so much here in Tokyo. They have put some new signs up here. But all in Japanese, it seems. It was quite common at that time that the Western style residences were Western style at the ground level, and the first floor, second floor here in Japan was Japanese style. For the Japanese style garden, Ueji wanted to bring the mountains to the flatlands of Tokyo. That's why we have a small gorge here behind these plants, and also a high waterfall. these rocks here are used in many gardens in Tokyo. You can also see them over there as a wall. They were very cheap because there were many. They are lightweight and not so far from Tokyo, so easy to bring here. They are rocks from Mount Fuji. And here we are entering the pond area. With the giant snow viewing lantern. Over there's the waterfall, and I could already hear it over on the small hill. I'm not sure if you can because of the microphone. Well, let's get a little bit closer to the lantern, and on the right side is also a dry waterfall setting. It's not a common dry waterfall setting. It seems we can step a little bit closer because they only set this one here. So we have actually two rocks that seem to be mirror stones. The prominent one here, but the actual one is over there, which is partly hidden. So usually you only have one and then the accompanying stones left and right. But here the setting is a little bit uncommon. Yeah, and almost gardens, they, here in Tokyo, the major gardens, the 9 major gardens, they have already set up the komomaki around the pine trees. It's almost end of October now, but the yukitsuri will be done later in November. Here all the pine trees are already pruned. In other gardens where they have a lot more of them, they usually don't prune all the pines every year, but have a schedule, like some of the pines they are pruning the 1 year and other pines they are pruning the 2nd year, and so on. I don't have too much time here in the garden, so I will only take a short look into the tea house garden. and then continue here. So this is the tea house garden. It's a nice moss carpet. You can't enter usually, only when they have tea events. But also then you can't walk around the garden, only towards the tea house. And watching the garden from the tea house. But here we are coming closer to the waterfall. It was one of the highest waterfalls during the era where they still didn't have pumps. They used the natural difference in level for these kind of waterfalls, and usually there was a well or something like that on top which they could use. No, I don't want to go here. I want to come from the bottom into the rose garden. Oh, let's go here. Here you can see the Komomaki. We have a blog post about that on our website. I will link to it so you can read what's it for and how it's done. From here we can go from the Japanese garden into the Western style garden. Have a look at the stairs. Here we have some azaleas and momiji for the transition. And the rose garden. And now look at the stairs again. And the roses. They have roses from all over the world, almost from Japan. The other one was from America, but they also have some from UK or here, Germany. We have some very famous rose breeders in Germany. This one here is from France. Just want to find one from the breeder I once visited during my gardener training. Maybe they are not writing the breeders, but it should actually. They are writing the breeders. Here's J and P. But this is all Tanchu. I haven't heard of Tanchu. Ah, this one here. Kind of blue. Oh, this is a rose from Cordis und Söhne. And I visited that breeder during my gardener's training because they needed young people continuing the work, but no one of us was interested in rose breeding. So here you can see they are working on the facade of the building, but they have set up like a curtain that it still looks like the actual building. This is one from UK, named after a Japanese princess. And they also have some small flower fields. Not so nice in autumn and winter. Only having pansies here. In summer, spring, it's looking a little bit more colorful. I always think that this garden is a very interesting of west and east, and actually when I came to Japan I thought that they only have this rose garden here and didn't know of the Japanese garden. So it took me some years to finally visit, but now I'm really happy when I can come here. Yeah, and this was already the garden. I'm heading now to my next destination, grabbing something to eat on my way. Probably a onigiri or something like that. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in the next garden. If you liked our content, if you like to see more parks and gardens here in Tokyo and around, please subscribe to our channel and leave me a thumbs up. Thank you.